Hey everyone, I'm back. I'm going to go over how to log a meal at a restaurant or a calorie dense meal, aka Food Deconstruction 101. For the purpose of this, I'm going to do a chicken ranch wrap with sweet potato fries and dill dip. Now, one thing I want to mention before I get started is that most franchise restaurants have their nutritional information all posted online, so you could look it up ahead of time before you went out for dinner. But I'm going to go through it anyway. So chicken ranch wrap with sweet potato or yam fries and a dip. So first of all, first thing to note is that if you are having a calorie dense meal or you're going out to eat, um, if you know you're doing it early, build it ahead of time because then you can build the rest of your day around it. I do this all the time. Actually, I also do this when I'm planning, say, like what some people would consider a cheat meal or something. If I just really want a big meal, what I'll do is if I have like a food craving and I want to eat a couple burgers and some fries, I'll build that in early in the day and then I'll eat around it throughout the day. So when I have a dinner, I can just do that for dinner. So let's get started. Chicken ranch wrap with sweet potato fries. So I know I'm gonna go out tonight and have that. I'm gonna go to dinner. I'm gonna add food, and I'm gonna show you how I would deconstruct it. So this is also where weighing your food comes into play at home. Building these habits and practicing is super important so you can understand how much food is actually in the food that you're eating. So let's start with that. Obviously, I would go with chicken because that's the number one ingredient. So we'll start with the ingredients that I know for sure. So we'll go with chicken. So I'm going to go grilled chicken. So there's probably not going to be any skin on it. There we go. Grilled chicken breast, 4 ounces, serving size. So the serving is 6-ounce grilled chicken breast. If I look at the serving size is in 1 ounce. Number of servings, usually in restaurants, it's far less than 6. 4 would be a pretty accurate number. So I have the serving size set as 1 and 4 servings, so that's 4 ounces. I'm going to add that to food. The ranch part, I'm going to search for ranch dressing. Keep in mind that if it's in a restaurant, more than likely they've made it themselves or it's really calorie dense. So I'm going to pick one out that is calorie dense for the purpose of this. Ooh, salad dressing. 100 grams, that's a lot, but it's also looks like it would be a regular and it's been verified. There's 100 grams is a lot. Wow. There's no way. It's 3.5 ounces of dressing alone. That one's going to be way too much. So what I do in this case, if I'm not sure, I will look at a bunch of different dressings, and I'll just pick an average out of all the dressings. So you see like 140, 484. That's on the extreme high side. 130, 160 calories, 130. So it looks like the average is going to be about 140 for 2 tablespoons. Now it depends how thick they lay it on, but 2 tablespoons is a reasonable amount. So let's just add that. After the dressing, it's the wrap. So a wrap is a tortilla. So I'm going to add tortilla. So depending on whether it's 1 or 2 and the size of the tortilla, we'll have a look here. We could add, say, 12-inch and see what comes up. That would be the most common size. Or 14, depending on where. So we have a generic one that's 320. We have another one that's 170 12-inch. So again, I'm just looking through and seeing the average caloric breakdown of each of these. And I'm just going to pick one that's average, maybe slightly on the high side. Usually in restaurants, like I said before, when they're homemade, it's a little more calorie dense. So 320, 170 seems low when we're looking at averages. So I'm going to go with the one that is, there's 290, 270. I'm going to go with this one that's 290. It seems to be about the middle of the road. Yeah, the caloric breakdown of these. Well, that's a spinach tortilla. It's going to be corn if it's in a restaurant, so. Or flour. Yeah, flour or corn. Generic. I'm looking at the caloric breakdown again. Looks to be in line with the other ones. I'm going to add to that. So I have the bulk now of the wrap. Now there's going to be other things in the wrap, like let's say vegetables. More than likely there's tomato, search tomatoes. And again, this comes with experience of weighing food at home. So for instance, when I pick out a tomato, like one tomato at Walmart, that's been verified that a serving size of a regular tomato at Walmart is going to be is that. So let's say they put an entire tomato in a wrap, which is probably unlikely. More than likely, it's only half a tomato. So I go to serving size, 0, half, verify. I'm going to go, there's usually lettuce in wraps. So again, this is where weighing your food at home comes in handy and understanding that. So with lettuce, if it's iceberg lettuce, it's not going to make too much of a difference for the types of lettuce. And 100 grams of lettuce is actually a lot of lettuce. So let's say it's 50. Again, this will come with experience, understanding how much is in there. I'll add the food. There's usually cheese in wraps, so I will go, let's say it's cheddar cheese. Cheddar cheese, an ounce. That'll go again with, like I keep repeating, with understanding how much is at home. Usually I would say that there's approximately, in something like that, there's going to be probably about 2.5 servings. Maybe less. Let's go with 2 servings. So probably 2 ounces of cheese on a wrap. They like to load it up with cheese and stuff. So I think I've covered the main ingredients for the actual wrap itself and deconstructed it. Next, let's go the yam fries. So if I type in yam fries, so if they were baked, more than likely they're not baked, they're fried. So let's type in fried and see what comes up. Another thing that I like to do, if I know that some place has, say like yam fries or sweet potato fries, I'll pick it from a different restaurant if I know that they have it and I've been there before, and I'll add it that way. sweet potato. So we'll go yam fries again. And because they're deep fried, they're going to be the more they're going to be heavy on the calorie side, and because they're cooked in fat, they're boiled in fat compared to baked, which is quite a bit different. And you can ask your server, are these baked or are they fried? So if we're looking, like, Milestones is a restaurant I'm familiar with, and they have an appetizer version, which would be approximately the same size as any other restaurant. And again, you're just guessing as close as possible. There's another one for Joey's restaurant. If you've ate there before, like, just having a look at that, saying, well, there's 307 grams, 500 calories, and I'm looking at Milestones, that's about 540. So if I'm out at a restaurant, it looks like any yam fries are going to be around 500 calories. So that would be you can pick either of them. I like to caution on the high side. So we'd add that in, because it's deep fried. Then we're going to go with the dip. So most dips for these fries, your base is mayonnaise. So what I like to do is just put in the mayonnaise, because generally speaking, they'll just add like a spice or something to it, which will barely account for any calories. So maybe I'll just bump up the mayonnaise or something like that a bit. So let's just type in mayo, search. Again, looking through which description of the mayo, and by measuring at home, you're going to know the amount or what it looks like. Most of them will come with 3 tablespoons, so if you eat it all, there's your mayo with your sweet potato fries. Just looking at this, and this is where things are a little bit hidden at restaurants as well. So what did they cook the chicken breast in? Most of the time, restaurants will cook in vegetable oil or canola oil. So I just want to look and see I'm going to look and see if any of that's been accounted for in the macro breakdown here. And there's only 4 grams of fat and 35.3 grams of protein, which means that it wasn't accounted for in the cooking. So I need to add canola oil too. So you can pick any canola oil because the majority of them are the same. Like, you'll see 120 calories, 120 calories, 120 calories. I'm just going to pick the first one. It's been verified. I'll go with a tablespoon because that's going to be approximate. So based off of this, you can see that eating out when you're selecting certain things can add up really quick. Let me go to the diary and I'll show you the nutritional side of this meal. So if I'm looking at the nutrients, based off that one meal alone, that is 64 grams of protein. It's 118 grams of carbs. That is 118 grams of fat. So you can see how in restaurants it is really calorie dense, and to be really aware of that, especially when you're having sides like sweet potato fries and yams, they can really add up in a hurry because the food's deep fried. Not to mention the oils that they cook it in. But you can ask your server if they cook with those oils. I'm going to go to a different screen and just show you the macro breakdown. So with carbohydrates, you're at 117 fat, 118 grams protein, 63 grams of protein. Again, you can look online and see if that's accurate if you're going to a franchise restaurant. Yeah, So then what do I have left to eat in the day would be the next question. So if I go back to my diary, I go nutrition, and I go nutrients. If I'm looking where it says total, my goal, and what I have left for the day, so what I'd want to eat, what's left for the day, is 125 grams of protein I have left, so lots of protein left. I have 71 grams of carbs left for the day, so I'd build my meals around that. And fat. I'm way over on fat, so what I might do in this situation is, like I've shown in a different video, I would borrow the fat over the next couple days. So that is a different video altogether, because you know how, now that you know how to build properly and deconstruct the food in a way, that's what this is meant to do. So you can build your days around those meals. Which also leads into just when you're picking things at a restaurant, you can pick things that are less calorie dense and will affect your macros in a way that's positive. Anyway, that is it for now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will address this again in our Facebook Live Q&A. Thanks, guys, and have an awesome day.